everyone, oops, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then we're going to start. So a brief introduction. So I am Dr. Alvin Lu, and together with me today we also have Simin, who is the uh, administrative manager that you will most commonly encounter in your next 4 years with NUS, because she looks after all the undergraduate students. So she's a very important person you should know. And today I will cover what are the graduation requirements, what are the course requirements for the primary major in food science and technology, and also if you are doing a second major in food science or second major in nutrition or minor in nutrition, it will be covered in this talk. Just curious, are there anyone who is not uh, a food science major here? If you're not, you can raise your hand so that I know that we have non-food science major in this talk. No, no one raised hands. So just a brief introduction. So food science and technology, it is essentially a multidisciplinary topic in which we use biology, physical science, and engineering to study the nature of foods and find out how the food will deteriorate and how can we process to preserve the food, and also how to make it more delicious and appealing to consumers. So that is food science. Then for once we apply the science, we can apply the science to how to make the food better, how to select the food, how to preserve, process, package, and deliver it, as well as making it more nutritious. So there is one definition that is not included here, and that is the definition for the study of nutrition. So nutrition is more related to how a person's body and well-being will be affected by the food that they consume. So since I see most of you, or if not all of you, have chose are food science major, so this is a welcome to the profession. So we have actually many professional societies that's related to food science and technology. The central one that I put here, this is in Singapore Institute of Food Science and Technology. It is a professional association based in Singapore, and we are affiliated to the International Union for Food Science and Technology as well, the IU-FOSS. And then we have also many other sister organizations throughout the world. So the key point I want to bring across is the food industry, especially if we are talking about the large scale food manufacturing, it is a relatively stable industrial sector. So regardless whether you have a economic boom or economic downturn, there will still be people who need to eat. Although the type of food that they will consume will change, which means the type of companies hiring may change, but this is a relatively stable sector. And I like to think that the food industry contribute to the well-being of the community. We ensure that the food is safe and also nutritious for the society. And this is a very rigorously defined scientific discipline with multidisciplinary characteristics, and it's a significant professional society. So talking about the NUS FST Food Science and Technology major. So we first started in 1999 as a program. So it's a program offered at that time under the Department of Chemistry. And subsequently, we are now a department by itself. And in the process, we also have accreditation from IUFOS, which is the international society I mentioned earlier. So they have accredited the program that our curriculum covers what is required for someone to practice as a food technologist or food scientist. So as of 2020, we became the first and only department of food science and technology in the university sector. And there's approximately, say, 1,000 alumni in the industry, and also government organizations and also the institutes of higher learning. So if we talk about the areas of food science, it covers everything starting from post-harvest, meaning the moment you harvest a food. Harvest meaning is plant, or it could be after slaughtering an animal. So the moment after we obtain from the primary source, that's where food science starts, and it includes the subsequent downstream processes of manufacturing, engineering, processing, and then down to developing a product and also carrying out consumer studies. And the final part about healthcare, nutrition, pharmaceuticals, this is more related to the nutrition aspects, uh, which is the second major or minor in nutrition that the department offers as well. And then food science is also, of course, uh, heavily related to governments and regulations. In fact, we have adjunct professors that comes from the Singapore Food Agency as well. And we have graduates that goes on to work in the food tech and agri-tech startup as well. And urban farming is increasingly being classified more towards food science as opposed to the traditional agricultural science. And of course, for alternative proteins, cultured meat, and 3D food printing, these are new areas in food science and technology as well. So I will not go through this whole list, but these are examples of occupations that our graduates may go into. So like I said, the food science and technology, we are heavily involved in regulations and the government directions as well. So if you are aware, we had a national agenda quite a few years back saying that Singapore would like to grow 30, or rather have 30 by 30, meaning 30% of our nutritional needs being grown in Singapore. It could be grow in Singapore directly, or it could even, if you look carefully at the direction from the Singapore Food Agency, they also include growing overseas as well, where Singapore companies extend overseas and grow and import the food back. So these are the three bread baskets, of which these two, number two and three, will try to help us achieve 30% of our nutritional needs by 2030. So that is a aspirational goal. For the other 70%, then we are going to have to depend on import sources, which we will diversify as much as possible. So now back to what you are most interested in, which is we are entering our course registration period. So if we look at our undergraduate syllabus, it can roughly be classified into four main pillars: one on food safety, one on food processing, one on nutrition, some on new product development, and then it is taught by uh, 20 renowned professors and industry leaders. And also we have more than 20 food science and nutrition courses as well. So I think we have the same QR code later at the end, but this QR code, I believe, shows you the curriculum as well as a sample study plan. We'll go through the sample study plan at a later slide as well. So in terms of research, the research in the department is largely classified in this under these 5 pillars. So on flavor and fermentation, on food bioactive molecules. So flavor and fermentation is more about, say, let's say if I ferment a food, through the fermentation process, we can generate new flavors. Then through other processing that's not related to fermentation, you can also generate new flavors. So there are research being carried out on these flavor compounds, how to generate these flavor compounds. Then we have also research carried out to characterize what are the bioactive molecules in food and how they may affect health. We have research related to microbiology and safety, research related to processing and engineering. How can we process a food more efficiently, or process it in a way that is more appealing to consumers? And lastly, but not the least, we have human nutrition as well. So the reason why I need to, or why I wanted to bring up this research pillar is because you will also have the opportunity to do research in your undergraduate career. So you can try out doing some research projects. And these are the areas where we have research projects in. So if we look at a typical 4-year CHS experience, this is how we will label them. We label semester 1, semester 2, then we have a winter and a summer. So although Singapore don't really have winter or even a summer, we are summer all year round. We use this terminology to better describe which part of the year we are talking about. And you will notice that, I'll just bring up everything first. You'll notice that the summer break is actually quite long. It's from May to July. And this is by design. It is for students to think about what are the activities that they may want to take during these 4 years, during this different summer period. So over here, this is our recommendation. You may not want to do exactly that, but this is our recommendation. Our suggestion is that uh, after you complete your first year in the coming summer, then you can think about doing some student activities. For example, we have orientation camp that you can help to organize. And I believe I may have seen some of you last week in this orientation camp. So if you are interested, you should reach out to the FST Society about organizing this camp for the next summer. Then in the second year, in the second summer, then you may think about going for overseas summer school, for example. And in the third year, maybe you can have some experiential learning. So experiential learning could be a UPIP. UPIP is a type of internship. So we have quite a number of internships, which I will try to cover in the next few slides as well. But our recommendation is usually for students to go for internship during this particular summer rather than trying to force it in earlier, because the first few years are where you get to build up your technical expertise before you go out to work. So that's why our preference is for students to go for internship at a later stage, because even if you go out earlier to get an internship, you may not fully appreciate it if you have not studied enough about food science. The other parts to think about for the overseas opportunities is many students want to go for a student exchange program. So that is something that's good, but you also need to consider about the limited number of slots for student exchange programs, and also the complexity of trying to plan your timetable with an overseas component. So that's why we have actually quite a number of summer school that you can take part in, especially in your end of your second year. So if we look at the general outline of a CHS degree, you'll find that we have the first major, for which I think many of you may be first major in food science. So you have 60 units, which is 15 courses. And then we have the common curriculum. So that's covered under CHS. If you are from the university college program, then they have their own common curriculum. Then we also have the unrestricted electives. So these unrestricted courses, this is where you get to customize your degree so that it becomes one that most suits what your preference, your liking. Uh, so yeah, that's the main point. Students are encouraged to make good use of this unrestricted elective space so that you customize your degree to something that best suit your competencies. And if we use again the CHS nomenclature of how you can plan your degree, you can have a versatilist, you can have a deep specialist, or you can have a integrator, which we'll see in the next few slides. Oops, okay, not moving. So let's say when we talk about a versatilist, these are students who takes a wide variety of courses, but not enough for them to become uh, mm, let me make sure I say the correct thing. Okay, so anyway, so if we talk about a versatilist, it could be students who don't take who takes lots of varieties of courses, but not enough to form a minor by itself, or maybe, or even a major, or you could have students who are taking one minor or two minors. So these are what we term versatilists. So if what you need to consider is if you are thinking of taking a minor already, then you need to see that your unrestricted elective is already lesser. So you need to think about what are the courses you want to take for these unrestricted electives and what is your minor. If you're taking two, then it's even lesser. Then we have students who may be deep specialists. So deep specialist means they have the first major, but they go on for their unrestricted elective to go on to take other courses that is related to their first major. So in our case, it could be the specialization. So the food science and technology department, we offer two specialization. So and the courses in the specialization will count under the unrestricted electives. Or you could still have a specialization and still one minor. So this is what we will consider as a deep specialist. And we also have two the integrator, so meaning people who have two majors, one which is the primary major in food science, and then a second major in something else. So that something else is again for you to decide and plan for yourself. Just from a historical perspective, so historically, everyone was a deep specialist. That was maybe 10, 20 years ago. The food science degree is everyone is a deep specialist, but now it has opened up and we have more options and routes. So I mentioned that we have two specialization. So one specialization is in research and innovation, which I abbreviate here as R&I. So this is where you take a honors project and also choose two electives from a basket of 4,000 or level 5,000 courses. Then we also have the industrial application. So this is when you take these prescribed courses. First, you must take a professional internship in food science and technology. So this is a semester-long internship. And then you must also take this FST 4278. It's an independent study course. It's a course that you can take by self-studying during the internship. And then finally, you choose one more elective from a selected basket of courses, and that will give you your specialization in industrial applications. So if you're not interested in becoming a deep specialist, then there are other minors. These are the possible minors and second majors you can think about that goes well with the food science primary major. So nutrition is obvious. So the analytical chemistry and life science, these are good minors or even second majors for students because you find that many of the jobs out there may also be related to analytical chemistry or life science. If you are inclined in statistics, maybe you want to go into data analytics, then we have also students who go on to take entrepreneurship, management, and psychology, where psychology is clearly very related and linked to consumers' food preference. So that may also be one of your selling points if you go on to take a minor in psychology. And the College of Humanities and Science, or rather the Faculty of Science, is also launching a new second major and minor in computing. So this is separate from the second major and minor in computing offered by the School of Computing. This is offered by the Faculty of Science. So if you are interested, you should also consider. So I'm running a little short on time, so I'm not going to run through everything. But to keep things short, uh, under your CHS curriculum, you need to already take this CS 1010. So if you take CS 1010 and its equivalent and you obtain a good grade, then you should and you want to, then you can consider to apply a second major or minor in computing. So these are the courses that are within the second major and the minor in computing. So you find that they tend to have more programming and also mathematics courses. And then if we look at the food science primary major, so this is the first course that you will take, FST 1101B. I will be teaching that course. So if you don't have if you don't have A-level biology, then you need to take a bridging course, LSM 1301, which is general biology. You take it in semester 1. Then you can take FST 1101B in semester 2. If you don't have chemistry, then you need to take the bridging course in chemistry in semester 1. Then we talk about the summer break. So the summer break is maybe for the first year, you can think about joining the orientation camp, or we have a food tech challenge as well. So, but you can see for first year, we only have this one course in food science and technology. The remaining is the CHS common curriculum, and also for you to think about whether food science and technology is the major that you prefer. If not, you can also take the gateway courses of other major and decide for yourself if this is what you want. So in the second year, that's where we go into more of the basic sciences of related to food science. So if we have food chemistry, food microbiology, post-harvest, nutrition, and engineering. So these our courses are offered usually, as with the exception of FST 1101B, the remaining courses they are offered once a year only, meaning only in one semester. So this is the current scheduling for the different courses. Then for your summer break for the second year, then you can think about maybe you want to take, we have a summer course on seafood supply chain in Japan and Singapore. So you will fly to Japan and take part of the course. So this is something you may consider. It's a fast-free, meaning a easier to plan option than a full-fledged student exchange program. Or you may want to think about taking a Europe's project, or if you really want, you can also go on to take an internship. So a Europe's is actually for undergraduates to do a research in NUS, and then it will give you different number of credits depending on how long you work on it. If you work on it for one semester, you get 4 credits. If you work on it for 2 semesters, you get 8 credits. And then these are the courses in your third year and also the fourth year. Again, I'm not going to go through every course for the third and fourth because it's still a little far for you. But something that you should think about is for the third year, the summer break, what you will do. Because you'll find that the curriculum is planned such that the fourth year, semester one, is empty. There is no food science, or rather, no compulsory food science courses for you to take. The reason is so that if you wish to, you can begin your internship and you continue, meaning begin the internship during the summer break, meaning starting from May. And then you continue working in the company until the end of, say, December. So one semester plus this summer break so that you can get a longer internship. So that's the plan. But if you decide you want to do research, so this is also a good period for you to do research, especially if you are doing a final year project. This is when you can start on the project and then continue all the way into your fourth year as well. Then, of course, at the end, this is a 4-year course. You should graduate by the end of the fourth year. So these are some other courses that you may want to consider that I just list out here. So I put here ST1131. So this is the Introduction to Statistics and Statistical Computing. You will be allocated GEA 1000 if you did not choose any minor or second major in data analytics or statistics. But if you are interested in statistics and maths, you should drop this GA 1000 and take this instead, because the ST1131 is a more in-depth course on statistics, and it will help you in your future student career in food science, because the statistical component will be very helpful for, say, quality control, for your final year project, for many different courses. Uh, that is for people who likes maths. If you think you don't like maths, but you like chemistry, then perhaps you want to take organic chemistry as well, because food science is actually very linked to organic chemistry. So all the food that we consume are basically organic chemicals. So this may be helpful for you. Or if you find that you are more leaning towards nutrition and biology, maybe you want to take this fundamental biochemistry because this goes towards uh, if you are taking nutrition as a second major, this is compulsory for it, and you may want to therefore take it. One point that you should note is that if you look at the module code or the course code, it is 2106. So it seems to imply it is a second year course, but no, it's not. Because if you look at the prerequisite, it's actually A level biology. So if you choose to take it in, you can choose to take it in your semester two or even in the coming semester if you wish to, because you will have meet the prerequisite. Is level two because you may need a bit more soft skills in terms of writing, in terms of doing literature search, to take this, but you don't. It's not a hard skills that you need. So so these are skills that you can actually pick up along the way if you wish to do this course early, and there are definitely benefits for doing this course earlier. It gives you more flexibility in your planning. Then we also have human anatomy. So if you want to take nutrition as a second major, this is also a course you may want to consider. And to fulfill your digital literacy pillar, if you are going to take a minor in computing, then you should take CS 1010 for sure. If you're not that keen in computing, we have actually computational thinking and programming in chemistry. And that uses FST 2102B as a prerequisite. So it's actually quite relevant to food science majors. Okay, again, I am aware I'm a little short of time. So these are all the possible internships that we have where our students go. And we have also many student activities. We have food product development projects. We have industry day where students present their projects. We have the food tech challenge. If you're interested, you can ask me. I can tell you later. And we have also overseas community involvement projects. So this is the Japan exchange course that I talk about. It's just once over the summer. So it's quite easy to plan in terms of timetabling. So over here, this is our study plan. So a study plan is just for your reference. You don't have to follow it strictly because, like I say, for some courses, if you take them earlier when you have met the prerequisite, it will give you the flexibility in your later semesters. So with that, I will end and open the floor for questions. Anyone has any question, you can type out if you don't want to unmute. But the most straightforward is you unmute and say out loud. Are we able to, so someone wrote, are we able to take bridging modules even if we have cleared the H2 requirements in A level? You cannot take the bridging course if you have taken the H2 requirement already. It's a preclusion, if I say so. If your concern is you are not sure, you want a revision, let's say, I'm guessing what you're thinking. Uh, you can find out where these courses are conducted and maybe you can drop in. But my gut feel, if I remember correctly, the life science bridging course, a lot of it is actually conducted online. It's a blended learning. So with that blended learning, I don't even know how much you can actually drop in as it crash in for the lectures. So again, information for everyone. Usually lecturers are fine with you dropping into their class. Because if it's a lecture theater, it's large, you can just walk in and no one will know. If it's a small class, maybe you drop an email to the lecturer, say you are interested to just sit in and listen. Usually people are fine for you to do that. So someone asked Yu Che, if I pronounce correctly, any opportunities in terms of internship overseas activities during winter break. So the winter break is actually very short. It's maybe 5 weeks. If you find your own internship as in a part-time job, that's fine. But we will not have a credit bearing internship for winter break. For overseas activities, we have winter school. We have winter school. Actually, I didn't have time to talk about it. We have last year we have winter school to China, where the students visited many of the research and food manufacturing facilities in China. And then the course is basically, if you ask me, the main part is writing a report about all the companies you visited. Then we have also winter school with some Korean universities. So then someone asked, will this Zoom be recorded and uploaded? I know that the slides should be distributed by the Faculty of Science to you. As for Zoom uploaded, Simin, are we going to upload?
Yes, I think the faculty will also do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So no worries about it.
Learning device would I recommend? Maybe you want to unmute because I'm not very sure. Are you talking about iPad versus Mac versus PC or so I would say the most try and tested or specs for laptop. If you are buying a laptop new from the co-op, I think it is fine. We There is no particular software that we need that have a very high computational requirement. We don't have any software that's really difficult to run. If that is what you are asking, if you're if you have an existing laptop that's 1 to 2 years old, I think it is fine. The most if you want, you can drop me an email. I can find out. We I'll just put my email here, then I can tell you better. If you still want to know more, because I think the university actually subscribes to quite a number of software for all students. And I'm just going to put in here, or we have Origin Pro, we have EndNote. So these are software that's actually available to all students. And but we don't have specific courses that's going to teach you how to use it. If you want to use them, Origin Pro is a statistical software. You need to watch some YouTube videos to teach yourself how to use. EndNote is a referencing software. So this then link to the specs about the notebook. You should check what is the software or what's the hardware requirement for this software. What's the hardware requirement for Origin Pro and EndNote? If your computer meets these two software, then I say you are fine for everything. So then we have question, if my primary major is chemistry and I decide to transfer midstream to FST, what course should I take during first semester? So you should be taking FST 1101B if you are planning. Wait, planning for midstream transfer. I will also give more information, or rather more reminder, because midstream transfer is not handled by the department. It's actually handled by the university level. It's the registrar office that do it. So the best we can do is remind you to look out for what the registrar office is saying. For then we have question for poly graduates coming in, we are given 20 credits, where I understand we need 160 credits to graduate. Does this mean poly students can graduate one semester earlier, or just to take lesser modules overall? So I would say it is you take less modules overall, but you need to plan very well, because if you see, many of the courses are only offered once a year in one semester. So, and if you remember, if I show my screen again, if you remember our, I hope you can see, our fourth year, we have requirements in the year 4 semester 2. So unless you have taken this course earlier, like maybe you take them in your third year semester 2, then you take them, or if not, it may be difficult for you to graduate earlier. I hope that answers your question. And if the other way to think about it is, if you are given 20 credits, then you can, I'm just thinking out loud, maybe for some semester you can take less courses, and then you can use those semester to take up research related courses as well. So you do a research project. That may be one way. Any other question? Did I answer everyone satisfactorily? I mean, for them, do they have another talk that they should go to, based on their,
Another talk. Let
no,
me
right?
see.
Because it's the end. The later part is data science and analytics and physics and, oh, oh, so if you are interested in the special program in science, you should go for it in 2:30.
Yeah, other than that, I think yeah, it's not really relevant because it's pertaining to the other majors. Yeah.
If you have no other questions, or if you have at a later date, you can still drop me an email. I've put that into the chat. If not, we are going to end this session. Okay, great. Thank you. See you coming semester.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.